Hey everybody, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome back for the Love of Homemade Kits. This is going to be my first project for the January kit that I created. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in with both feet by using the cut file that I picked out. Now this cut file, I don't think I mentioned when I did my kit share, is from Handy Paper. I got it through the Creative Cuts Club and I love this. I've kind of been hoarding it because it's so pretty. So in order to not hoard it and to get it used up, I'm going to go ahead and figure out how I want to back the floral first. And I decided to use the blue and the teal pattern papers. I have a goal that when I am doing these layouts with these kits, I want to do at least one boy layout and one girl layout so that I can show that things can be versatile, but I also keep a nice even pace on what I'm documenting. So today is going to be a boy themed layout, and you can see I've got it all backed now and really love the way that it looked. I did go out of my kit to back the rest of the globe with a piece of scrap paper from Maggie Holmes. I am allowing myself to do this. I do not necessarily make kits and say this is all I can use. That's too limiting for me, and that's probably why I struggle with kits to begin with. So I get a small collection like you saw that I did with my kit share, and I use that as my starting points, and then if I need to bring things in, I do, and I don't worry about that part. That's how it works for me. You have to figure out what helps you to create and get your stuff used up. Of course, I'm in the middle of my spending freeze, so using up stash is really important to me. And so using up that pattern paper, I no longer have it in my stash. So perfect, worked well. I needed a soft balance to go with the photos I wanted to use, and this ends up working. So I start with these photos of Jackson. Now it's of him riding his bike. He got his training wheels off and he learned how to ride his bike this year. Big milestone in a kid's life. However, it wasn't really jiving with the feel of what was going on. So I'm going to take those photos away. I go off camera and search through a couple other photos and options. And what I'm going to end up choosing to use is a photo of Jackson taken when he went to kindergarten orientation. So Sean and I took him. We learned about what to expect on his first weeks of school, who all of the kindergarten teachers were. So we kind of had an idea of when we found out who his teacher was. We got to have a kind of a tour of the classrooms and where they could be, and we went to the library, and a couple teachers read a story, and we were introduced to the librarian and all of that, and then the kids walked out with a goodie bag. So it was pretty short. It was about an hour maybe process, just enough to get them used to it, kind of see all of their other classmates, and it was a really good thing, and I almost think it's better for the parents that, especially if it was your first time having a kid into school. That orientation just was super helpful. I think it put all of the parents at ease more so than the kids, so it was fun. But what happens is you start off in the gymnasium, and so there is on the wall this huge his school name with pride, and of course, because I'm documenting and this is going up for the world to see, I have done some editing so you can't actually see the name of his school, and all you can see is pride and the fact that there's a lion. So I will not be documenting until he's outside of the school and none of my kids are in the school where he actually is. That is one thing I keep private. I'm an open book for the most part, but for privacy's sake, I do keep that private. So the photo is altered. But in between the line and the word pride is where his school name is. And so I wanted to take this photo, and I'm like, okay, act like a lion. And so he just put his hands out like he had claws, and he went grrr, which you can't tell because it's a photo, but I just love it. So this was the photo I took for this to document this. And I feel like the globe is the perfect kind of all around way to just say, new. It's a new phase, and I don't know, it's just a big first step, right? It is, and he's my first, so having him go to kindergarten for Sean and I was a huge first step, and just all of that. So that is how the globe is being played a factor into this layout with the photo. Now, it was too much. I can't just leave things on a wood grain and just be, it's fine. So I am going to do the fold over and cut into technique. Now, I have been starting to do it. Normally, I used to just do one or the other, but lately I have been doing both of them, and it is kind of my new, like, I want to do it on everything, and so I'm going to do it on everything technique. So I end up doing the fold over, and I'm going to use the pattern paper with the black and white stars. So this was one of my choices. I chose it for the black and white that was implemented within the stars. I had originally planned on using that as a full 12 by 12, so I can't do that anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see what I come up with for the next layout, because that was going to be my other 12 by 12 piece of pattern paper, and I've cut into it. So I'm super interested to see what I can come up with for that. And then to back everything else, because now I need to obviously have a color up at the top and a color down at the bottom. I'm going to mimic the colors within the floral that I did. So I'm going to do the teal at the top and the blue down at the bottom. It kind of gives everything a nice grounding, and the teal gives it a nice pop of color up there. And your eye goes from just kind of like the way you read a book, basically. So your eye goes up to the top left-hand corner and skims its way down, and you end at the bottom right-hand corner. And so that is how I decided to come up with that, and the way that it looks, the orientation of everything. I did also use my flare badge. So that was one of the other things from my kit, and the little bit of that dimensional, I don't even know what it is, but I'm going to call it ribbon because I added it to my ribbon collection for the kit. I used that as well. So flare used up, ribbon used up, cut file used up, all in my first layout. Oh, and the entire piece of wood grain. Yeah, so I'm already down to minimal with this because of how little I've used, but or I created with it. And then the best part of all is thicker wise, I use the fun foam ones that are in blue with the glitter. And then I used the gold ones from Dear Lizzy. Those are the ones that with the word to. I also used the words this in the gray. I liked the calmness that brought to the whole layout. And now that my photo is black and white, I feel like it all ties itself together. The only other thing I add outside of my kit was some tissue paper and this word BU. The world will adjust. I love that, especially for my son. It's the perfect fitting. And I wrap everything up by adding some sequins from my kit as well. These are the silver and black kind of ones that I got. They are from Squeakle Mom Scraps. They are still available in the shop, so if you're interested in purchasing them, when you check out, if you use my code Christy15, you'll get a discount to go ahead and purchase those if you're interested in them. And you guys, that wraps up my first layout. So please make sure you look down below. I have the link to the playlist so you can see everyone's layouts for this week using their kits. And thanks so much for watching. I'll be back next week with another layout with my How for the Love of Homemade Kits. Thanks everyone. Bye.